Welcome all in our integrated mathematics channel. So today we are starting our next unit number 6, which is complex variables. So in this lecture we are discussing about some basic concept of complex variables and then Cauchy-Riemann equation. Okay, so we all are familiar with this complex number. So we know that complex number is denoted by z is equal to x plus iy, where x and y are real numbers. Set of complex number is denoted by standard notation capital C. If z is equal to x plus iy, then modulus of z or amplitude of z is denoted by mod z or r. So this becomes square root of x square plus y square. Okay, square of real part plus square of imaginary part, its square root. So here x is a real part of this complex number and y is a imaginary part of this complex number. Argument of z is denoted by argue z or theta, and this becomes tan inverse y upon x. Imaginary part divided by real part and its tan inverse. Then logarithm of z is denoted by log z, and this becomes log r plus 2n pi plus theta. So here r is modulus of z and theta is argument of z. Or in other way, this becomes log of, replace value of r, which is square root of x square plus y square, and then replace value of theta, which is tan inverse y upon x. Now mod z is equal to 1. That means these are some standard curves. So curve mod z is equal to 1 means a circle with center at origin 0, 0 and radius 1. So next curve is mod of z minus z naught equal to a. This is also a circle with center at z naught and radius a. Next, mod z minus z naught is less than a. That means this is the interior part of our circle with center z0 and radius a. Then mod of z minus z naught is greater than a, means this is the exterior part of our circle with center z0 and radius a. Next is a1 is less than mod of z minus z0 is less than a2 is a region between two circles. a1 is equal to mod of z minus z0 and mod of z minus z0 is equal to a2. So this is our circle. Here a1 is less than a2. Okay, so circle, this is our circle z mod of z minus z naught equal to a1, and this outer circle is a circle mod of z minus z naught is equal to a2. So this region means region between these two curves as shown in set. Okay, next, function of complex variable. Okay, as like a function of real variable, here we define function of complex variable. If for every z belongs to C, a unique value w is associated, then w is said to be a function of z, and it is written as w is equal to f of z. Okay, so for every z in C, we get unique value w. So in that case, w is a function of z, where z is equal to x plus iy. X and y are real variable, and w is equal to function of xy plus I into function of xy. Okay, so we get another complex function. Now analytic function. F of z is said to be analytic at point z dot, at particular point, any point z dot. When we say that this function is analytic at point z dot, if this function is differentiable at every neighborhood of z naught. Okay, so suppose this is a one particular point z naught and our function is f of z. If f of z is differentiable at every neighborhood of this point z naught, then we say that this function is an analytic function. If our function is differentiable in our whole domain, so in that case we say that our function is analytic in that domain. And if f of z is analytic everywhere, then we say that this function is an entire function. Okay, so this is a small Venn diagram. Continuous function. If given function is continuous, then function is differentiable, analytic and entire. If function is differentiable, then our function is analytic and entire. If our function is analytic, then that will be entire function. Okay. Now next is Cauchy-Riemann equation or Cauchy-Riemann condition. If f of z is equal to u of xy plus I into v of xy is differentiable at z, then at this point the first partial derivative of u and v exists. Okay, if this function is differentiable at z, then first derivative of u and v are exist and satisfies the Cauchy-Riemann equation, and then this function satisfies Cauchy-Riemann equation or Cauchy-Riemann condition, and this condition becomes partial derivative of u with respect to x is equal to partial derivative of v with respect to y, and partial derivative of u with respect to y become minus of partial derivative of v with respect to x. So this is our Cauchy-Riemann equation, and if this equation or this condition satisfied our function, then we say that our function is analytic, or if function is analytic, then this function will satisfy Cauchy-Riemann condition. Okay. Then afterward we are trying to solve some examples using Cauchy-Riemann equations. Okay. We have seen Cauchy-Riemann equation for Cartesian coordinate x and y. Now this is Cauchy-Riemann equation in polar form. Let r and theta are polar coordinate of the Cartesian coordinate x and y, and x is equal to r cos theta, y is equal to r sin theta. Then z equal to x plus iy become r into e raised to I theta. Okay, because this become r cos theta plus I into r sin theta. Right? So take r common, r as it is. What is remaining? Cos theta plus I sin theta is remaining, and this become e raised to I theta. Okay, cos theta plus I sin theta become e raised to I theta. And this f of z is a function of u and v. Where u and v are functions of r and theta. U is a function of r and theta. V is also a function of r and theta. Okay. So in that way, we can write function f of z in terms of polar coordinate r and theta. And then Cauchy-Riemann equation for this polar coordinate become partial derivative of u with respect to r become 1 upon r into partial derivative of v with respect to theta, and partial derivative of v with respect to r become minus 1 upon r partial derivative of u with respect to theta. Okay, so these are Cauchy-Riemann equations in polar coordinate. Okay, so next is harmonic function. When we say that the given function is harmonic, suppose phi is any function of x and y, phi is said to be harmonic if phi satisfies Laplacian equation. So what is Laplacian equation? Our second partial derivative of phi with respect to x plus second partial derivative of phi with respect to y becomes 0, then we say that this is a Laplacian equation. And if phi satisfies this equation, then we say that phi is a harmonic function. Okay. Next is Milnor-Thomson method. So this method is useful for writing given function f in terms of z. So this method says that if f of z is a function of u of x comma y plus I into v of x comma y, and z is a function, z is a complex number x plus iy, then put x is equal to z and y is equal to 0. So this is important. F of z is a function of x and y. So we require to write this function in terms of z, and for that we are replacing x by z and y by 0. Okay. So in that way we get f of z as a function of z. So in that way f of z is equal to u of z comma 0 plus I into v of z comma 0. So this is Milnor-Thomson method. Now next, our requirement is to find u or phi or f of z such that f of z is analytic. Okay, so in that case we are following these steps. So first step become use CR equations. Okay, either we have given u or we have given phi. we have given any one of these two. So in that case, we are using CR equation. So CR equation in terms of Cartesian coordinate x and y, dou u by dou x is equal to dou v by dou y, and dou u by dou y become minus dou v by dou x. And u and v are complex conjugate of each other. Okay, u and v are complex conjugate of each other. Suppose here we require to find u. Okay, and we have given v. Okay, sometimes we have given u and requirement is to find v. Okay, so here our requirement is to find u and we have given v. So in that case, therefore du is equal to dou u by dou x dx plus dou u by dou y dy, because we know that u is a function of x and y. Okay, so derivative of u become derivative of u with respect to first variable x into dx plus derivative of u with respect to second variable y into dy. Okay, suppose our requirement is to find phi and we have given u. So in that case, we are using phi as a function of xy, and then dv become partial derivative of phi with respect to x dx plus partial derivative of phi with respect to y into dy. Okay, if our requirement is to find phi. Okay, so here our requirement is to find u and we have given phi. That's why we are using du is equal to du by dx into dx plus dou u by dou y into dy. So now replace du by dx by dv by dy by using CR equation, and du by dy by minus dv by dx. So we get this equation, and now integrate this by using the formula u is equal to derivative of u, its integration become u equal to integration of this function treating by constant plus integration of this function. Instead of plus, here will be minus, and then integration of this function terms free from x. Okay, so take those terms from dou v by dou y which are free from x. Okay, then integrate this, we get function u as a function of x and y, and then we know that f of z is a function of u and v. So replace here values of u and v, and then final requirement is find f of z in terms of z. So last step, fifth step become by Milne-Thomson method. Replace x by z and y by 0. We get f of z is equal to u of z comma 0 plus I into v of z comma 0. So in that way we get f of z as a function of z. Okay, so this is the method for finding f of z or u or phi by using CR equations. Now try to solve some examples. So first example become, obtain the analytic function f of z such that imaginary part of f of z is tan inverse y upon x. Here we have given imaginary part of f of z, and our requirement is to find f of z which is an analytic function. Okay, so first of all I will write here, let f of z is equal to function of u of x comma y plus I into v of x comma y. Okay, so which is analytic function, and we have given imaginary part of f of z which is equal to tan inverse y upon x. Okay, imaginary part of f of x means we have given phi of x comma y. So this becomes tan inverse y upon x. So by CR equation we know that partial derivative of u with respect to x is equal to partial derivative of phi with respect to y, and partial derivative of u with respect to y become minus of partial derivative of phi with respect to x. But given function is phi, so that's why we are finding partial derivative of phi with respect to x as well as partial derivative of phi with respect to y. So therefore partial derivative of phi with respect to x become partial derivative with respect to x of tan inverse y upon x. And we know that derivative of tan inverse of y upon x become with respect to x become 1 upon 1 plus y upon x square into derivative of y upon x with respect to x. So in that way we get 1 upon 1 plus y square upon x square into derivative of y upon x, y is constant as it is. Derivative of 1 upon x is minus 1 upon x square. Okay, since d dx of 1 upon x raised to n is equal to minus n upon x raised to n plus 1. Okay, and d dx of tan inverse x is equal to 1 upon 1 plus x. So using these two standard formulae we get this function, and after simplification we get minus y upon x square divided by x square plus y square upon x square. So denominator is same, so that will cancel and remaining function become minus y upon x square plus y square. So this is partial derivative of phi with respect to x. Okay. And now partial derivative of phi with respect to y become with respect to y of tan inverse y upon x. So this is equal to 1 upon 1 plus y upon x square into partial derivative with respect to y of y upon x. So in that way we get 1 upon 1 plus y square upon x square into derivative of y is 1 divided by x constant as it is. So we get 1 upon x square plus y square upon x square. Or I will write this as 1 upon x. So 1x will get cancelled and remaining function become x upon x square plus y square. So this is partial derivative of phi with respect to y. Here also I will write, instead of dash, I will write partial derivative with respect to x of y upon x. Okay. So in that way we get partial derivative of u and phi. U is harmonic conjugate or complex conjugate of, okay. So this is our first step to find the partial derivative of given function v with respect to x and y. And now u is a harmonic conjugate of phi, and therefore derivative of u is equal to partial derivative of u with respect to x dx plus partial derivative of u with respect to y dy, because u is a function of x and y. Okay. And now using CR equation, we don't know the value of partial derivative of u with respect to x and partial derivative of u with respect to y. So that's why we are using CR equation and replacing d by u by d by x is equal to d by u by d by y, and d by u by d by y by minus d by v by d by x. So we get d by du become, instead of d by u by d by x, we are replacing d by v by d by y into dx, and then instead of d by u by d by y, we are replacing minus d by v by d by x into dx. Okay, sorry, into dy. Into dy. Okay. And now replace the values. Therefore, du is equal to dv by dy. dv by dy is x divided by x square plus y square dx, then minus sign as it is. dv by dx is, value of dv by dx is minus, so this minus into this minus become plus y upon x square plus y square into dy. Okay, and now next step become integrating this. So integrating, we get u is equal to integration of x divided by x square plus y square dx. Here y is constant, okay, by treating y as a constant, then plus sign, integration of terms free from x of y upon x square plus y square dy. So we get u is equal to, now here y is constant and derivative of denominator function means derivative of x square plus y square is 2x, which is in numerator. Just 2 is remaining. So multiply and divide by 2. So we get 2x upon x square plus y square dx plus in this function no term is free from x. So there is no term. So that means integration is 0 and here y is constant condition as it is. Now apply condition. We get 1 upon 2 into log of x square plus y square plus constant of integral is c. Since integration of f dash of x divided by f of x dx is equal to log of f of x. Using this standard formula, we know that derivative of x square plus y square. Here y is constant. So derivative of x square is 2x, derivative of y square is 0. So 2x is present in numerator. So that's why we are using this standard formula. So in that way we get value of u, and therefore f of z is equal to u of x comma y plus I into v of x comma y. And now replace value of u, which is 1 upon 2 log of x square plus y square plus I into value of v is tan inverse y upon x. And by our requirement is to find f of z in terms of z. So by Milne-Thomson's method, put x is equal to z, y is equal to 0. So in that way we get f of z is equal to 1 upon 2 log of z square plus 0 plus I into tan inverse of 0 upon z. So this become 1 upon 2 into log of z square. So here constant of integral is remaining plus c. So write plus c and then plus r. Okay. So this become plus c plus I into tan inverse y upon x. Or instead of y, we are replacing 0, and instead of z, we are replacing, instead of x, we are replacing z. So in that way, we get plus c plus I into tan inverse 0. So this is equal to log z plus c, since tan inverse 0 is 0, and using log m raised to n is equal to n log m. Okay, using for this function use log m raised to n become n log m. So this become 2 into log z. This 2 multiply 2 and divide 2 will get cancelled, and log z is remaining. So final function become log z plus c. So this is our required analytic function f of z, which satisfies our given CR equations.